In the last couple of years, Rotten Tomatoes is not the only consensus out there when it comes to scores in regards to movies. CinemaScore has made its way to the forefront because it mainly depends on the audience that goes and sees the film. So let's talk about The Rise of Skywalker and something interesting that's been seen. So we know that on Rotten Tomatoes, The Rise of Skywalker, as of right now, it's at a 57. So clearly when it comes to the critics, they're not all up about that film. Now when it comes to the audience score, the moment I checked it right before starting this, it was at an 88. So that's faring far better. Now when it comes to CinemaScore, what they do is they give actual audiences that are seeing these movies pamphlets to hand back to them after the film and give them their score. The Last Jedi, for example, that film had an audience score for CinemaScore of an A. But now we know the CinemaScore for The Rise of Skywalker, and as you guys can see right here under the new releases, it has a B+. Now this is what's interesting to me, and this is the one that's I think worth talking about. So a lot of people are apparently liking this film when it comes to the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes way more than they like The Last Jedi. But The Last Jedi, as an audience score on CinemaScore, is far higher than The Rise of Skywalker. So this is a little bit of a confusing scenario, and I'm sort of confused here because if you go, look at anything Disney posts in regards to Star Wars, it's just people telling them that this is the worst one of the series. And I'm kind of confused because apparently that was the last one, but people are also apparently enjoying this one more than the last one if they hated the last one. Like, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I'm just kind of lost. But then again, I guess CinemaScore, they polled how many ever audiences they had out there, and a B+ isn't terrible by any means, but I think it tells you that maybe a lot of people that are reviewing this went in hoping to get something a little bit more like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Instead, The Rise of Skywalker is what it is. It's more of a fan service film, and despite years of wanting that from Disney, now it's working against them, considering, I guess, the people that wanted that got it but don't like it. So yeah, what an interesting position to be in. But overall, it looks like the film's still going to do good in box office, so who knows if this will really impact anything in the long run. So I guess now it's time to ask, where would you guys place this film? What score would you give it? I still have to see it a couple more times. That's kind of generally how I go with Star Wars films. I have to process them a little bit longer and see them a handful of times to really get a score out there for it. But where would you guys personally place it on your Star Wars rankings, or just if you had to give it a number, score, or a letter, where would you guys place that?